Okay, here's my sound preferences. I like a variety of different tunings, but really what gets my juices flowing, starting from the lower octaves, is in the bass. I like my bass punchy, tight, fast with a kick. I like a little bit of energy down there, maybe a little bit of warmth, but not too much into the getting into bass bleeding. It's got to have enough weight to make male vocals, make piano, cello, percussions, have the right tonality. When it comes to my mids, I do like my mids and mid clarity, but I don't like too forward a mid, so that's the upper mids I'm talking about. So keep the pinna gain down a little bit and not make it too forward a presentation. And when it comes to the highs, I do like my sparkly highs. At my age, I'm probably losing a little bit of the high frequencies. But not too much where it's sibilant and in your face. So that's what I like. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tone Deaf Monk. Today I'm bringing you a set of headphones. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and strap in. I'm bringing you Kiwi Ears, one of their later ones. This one's called, I'm going to get this right, Atheia. Atheia? Yeah. It's $349. Right now it's on sale for $279. That would be $410 of Canuck bucks. These are a closed back hybrid dynamic driver and microplanar sort of. Let's talk a bit more about these things. First things that come up is I really like the sound of this set. There's going to be some things that I talk about that'll be more me than they will be you problems. But let's jump into this thing a little bit. If you pull up their website, the first thing that you'll notice is a disclaimer, talking about the stock cable, that it's proprietary, left and right, and you can't use other 3.5 cables. So you're stuck with this proprietary cable. What's inside of these things, in these closed backs, which are nice, is a 50 millimeter dynamic driver. I didn't get any more information than that. And a 14.5 millimeter planar. Now, that's the same size as used in countless other IEMs, but they're saying Kiwi Ears calls it a custom designed. It's probably the same planar with little brackets on the side to mount this thing in front of the dynamic driver. And if you're putting your finger inside of these things, you can feel it behind the mesh. Super easy to drive. 102 dB with a 32 ohm impedance. These things threw me for a loop. So talking about the rest of it in build quality, they have these walnut, they say they're walnut cups with vegan leather. I have no hair, so they're comfy for me. And I heard from other people, though, that if you have, I have medium large ears, they go inside. If you had bigger ears, they might not go all inside, and it might be a little uncomfy. The cups are maybe a little small, but for normal people, they fit fine. They are adjustable, not hugely. And the headband is, again, really well designed. Like, I really think the fit and finish of these sets compared to some of the other ones that I've used from them, these ones are probably the nicest looking. They look, I did one before this one in the Kiwi Ears, and the talking about the plastic that really looked cheap, and it did. These ones actually look really good. So quite nice build, fit, and finish. Very nice there. Kiwi Ears calls these ones, their description they call them, is balanced neutral sound, fast punchy bass, natural mids, and crystal clear highs. And I'm going to say that is a perfect description because that is how they sound. So was it super easy to drive? Yeah, it was. With that cable, you're limited to only single-ended. There is no balanced option. So for that, I was listening to all my sources that I was playing with. Let's go, let's talk about that for a second. So my first round in my journey with this set, I put it on this absolutely baller 10 watt per channel, pure Class A headphone amplifier with all the bells and whistles, fully decked out, $5,000 plus Burson Conductor GT4. So I put these things on and I listened to it and they sound absolutely like shit. So I made a joke to my family. I said, you know what, maybe I should just put them on a different dongle, the cheapest dongle I have, and see how shitty they can really sound. And I stopped, and then we had a Canuck Audioholics call with Bennett, Kevin, and myself. And what was really funny about that conversation is we don't, between the three of us, we don't try to steer anybody else's opinion of the set. We kind of keep it to ourselves until we're all three of us are finished reviewing a set. But Kevin said, well, just so you know, I had a very similar experience with my KN ultra high-end headphone amplifier, and I didn't like it at all. I was like, yeah, these things sound terrible. I said, there's a huge disconnect, and there's a coherency issue there's this delay. I'm getting to this story. It's a long-winded story. Bear with me, please. And Kevin said, you know what? I tried it on some other dongles that I have, and it really actually sounds good. So try it with some other stuff. So I did. Colorfly CDL1, $50 dongle. It's a different headphone. And I understand why now. Then I started playing around with different sources. And I ended up finding that ESS, that's a ROM DAC, that's the DCE from my basso, but different, that's the Few QX13, and this is the Music Tech's Nepo A100, all ESS DACs. And I came to the conclusion that somehow these things really love ESS. They didn't like the ROM as much. They didn't like the Ibasso DX340 on 1-bit, which was funny. It's really nice sounding though, but not quite, and I'll get to that. They really didn't like the Burson, but they liked the $50 dongle. So I'm thinking, what is going on? Like, this is a weird... You don't put it on your best headphone amplifier and get a terrible listening experience and then put it on your cheapest one and you get a great one. Honestly, what the hell is going on? And it took me a while to wrap my head around this. I'm going to give you a little bit more backstory to give you some context. This is more about a me issue than a you issue. Remember, I've been trained and been in audio for 40, 50 years. 40 years. And I started off in high-end home audio. Like really boutique-y stuff. Learned a whole lot about speaker design from the greats. And then I moved into car audio. Actually, no, yeah, I did that. So here's an issue with car audio, okay? You want to get very nice staging, center image, but you're sitting on the left or right side of your car. You're sitting on one side of your car, and your speakers are left, right there, right, way way over there. This was many moons ago, remember? So back then, there was a couple ways of doing time coherency. That getting these speakers way over here to sound like they were reaching your ears around the same time as the left one. There was ways you could do it with crossovers, and the slope of the crossovers as you change the crossover slope, there's a coherency difference. The boys at Harman, right? Altec Lansing also did ways of doing that where you were pulling lefts and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I'm digressing here. But it was very hard to do back then without digital time alignment. Nowadays, it's easy. You push a button and away you go. I mean, when I left doing that kind of audio, we had laptops and because we were doing like pro audio or sound offs, car audio competitions for some serious money. So it mattered. We're at the point where we're using all kinds of funky stuff. And when we could put speakers in placements down below, but it would sound like it's coming from up here. I'm talking about coherency, time coherency here. So to wrap that thing up, when I went to go work for a speaker manufacturer, I learned a bunch more in this category as well. So listening to this set, getting around to the story, the Burson conductor, which is highly detailed. It's an incredible amplifier. It also just revealed for me what's going on with this set and why that amazing amplifier did not sound good with these. Well, to my ears, once you hear something, you can't unhear something, right? So for me, when I hear the bass driver, the dynamic driver in this kick in, it's set in when it reaches my ears and my brain, I hear the low frequencies, because low frequencies reach your ears much slower than high frequencies. And as the lower the frequency you go, the less important it is for directional. They become non-directional. But the higher the frequencies are in the audio spectrum, the more direct you get a sense. And that's why gear that has more higher frequencies, you get better staging, right? That's the reason why. So here you have a dynamic driver in the back, and you have this planar driver up front, and that's doing all the mids and upper mids and treble, everything up front, and the staging. So for me, what I hear that come first, and then I hear the lower frequencies come fourth, but there's a time delay, a fairly noticeable one to my ears. To most people, quite honestly, you're not going to hear that. You're going to hear kind of a euphoric spaciousness effect, which isn't unnice. It's nice. But I hear it differently with my ears, right? So that's how I get it, and why the less resolving sources sound better with this set. They don't pull this set apart. It just plays music. The QX13 was probably the best pairing for musicality wise. Pretty fantastic. This uses an ES, a 9027S Pro desktop level kind of DAC chip in here, and it's really nice. It's balanced, it's detailed, it's very musical. And then when I switched over to, I think its best pairing for me, my sources, was this Music Tech's Nepo A100 dongle. Again, ESS. Both of these will produce around 250 milliwatts of power into single-ended, which is pretty fantastic at 32 ohms. So What I got from there was less musicality over the few, but bigger stage, much punchier, faster bass. This thing is a beast when it comes to the bass department. So to my ears, I get two walls of sound, right? I get the mids and treble coming first, and then with that time delay, the back end comes at me as well. So again, for most people, you're not going to have an issue with this. I'm just telling you, and maybe a little bit of education about time delay and how that works, and coherency, because we hear about coherency, but it's normally referred to as, okay, this driver is doing this set of frequencies, and then it's blending into the next driver, so there's no dips or missing information. This is a little bit different. This is talking something a little different that you might not hear anybody else talk about. And getting deeper into the sound, let's talk about how these things actually, that description that Kiwi Ears did was great, fantastic. If you're looking for something that pulls down really low into the sub bass, probably not going to do it for you. Into that usable frequency response, there's not much pipe organ music that I listen to anyway, but when it comes to mid-bassy punchy, it was a real treat. So yeah, I liked it for that. So not picking a source that was laying bare this set of headphones, I enjoyed listening to the set. I said it right at the beginning. It is a good sounding set. So, and again, stage is good there again because it's done what you're going to hear first, which is in that planar. This is a very unusual combination, but I actually think it really works well for this set. Some of the things that I liked on this Kiwi Ears. So I like the build, I like the looks, and I like the comfort factor. I think the sound is fun and it has a natural frequency response. It's easy to drive, easy to listen to for long periods and at volume. The close back is great because you can take it for mobile use and not going to disturb everybody else on the train, right? What not so much? Well, proprietary short cable. It was a bad choice. I don't know why they did it, but kind of limits you, right? And that incoherency in the time delay between the drivers, again, for me, is just, it's not so much, but again, for most people, you're not going to notice that as well. If you were ever wanting to pick up something and know what I'm talking about, pick up this set. It'll make sense to you. The only other little niggle that I didn't like, and why I don't listen to headphones as much as I do IMs, is these kind of vegan leather cups. They make my ears sweat. So not a fan of that personally. That's it. I mean, this set coming out at a super decent price with some great sound quality going on, great build quality. It has some little quirks, but overall as a package, I think Kiwi Ears did a really good job. And on that note, I really want to say thank you again to Kiwi Ears for supplying these sets to the Canuck Audioholics and letting us share our impressions with you. If you like this vid, please like and subscribe. And also, you want a second opinion, watch Bennett's video from Silicone Sounds, because he's got a great set of ears, as does Kevin. And it's really interesting to hear the three of us listening to the same set and what our takeaways are. So thanks for watching once again. Much appreciating you watching this video and subscribing to my channel. So